What the heck is going on with teachers these days, man? I'm hearing just the wildest stories ever told. Like, my grandparents would not believe this. I remember back in the day, there were actually teachers who were somewhat passionate, somewhat driven, and most of all of them kind of like really cared about the students. They really wanted them to succeed and become these bright young minds, right? On the other hand, nowadays, finding a good teacher is very, very rare, let alone someone that's not doing something completely illegal. It really seems like with the age of social media, everybody's out there to make a quick buck, right? And they don't really care how they do it. They don't care about the children they're harming, and they don't care about, actually delivering the content. Well, today we're looking at a very wild story where a teacher in Arizona pretty much just did a any percent get fired speedrun world record. Teacher apologizes after students catch her filming OnlyFans videos in school with her husband. So basically, she was caught filming adult content in school on the children's desks with her husband. Now keep in mind, these are the same desks that some random middle schooler was sitting on a couple hours ago. And real quick, before I get called an incel by complete morons who lack any and all semblance of critical thinking, what she did was literally illegal. You are not allowed to do this. There's a time and place for everything, and she should be thanking her lucky stars she wasn't arrested, because this is straight disgusting. Now even she knows she's completely in the wrong here. She actually went ahead and made a 5.5 minute long apology video where she basically says, I couldn't do anything because I needed money to survive. This was the only route I possibly had. And I'll be disputing that later in the video because she definitely makes enough money to get by. Samantha Peer, otherwise known as her online alias Chloe Carter, was fired from her job as a science teacher at Thunderbolt Middle School alongside her husband Dylan Peer, who taught at another school. So it appears we have somewhat of a power couple here. Both of these people are teachers who spend time around your kids. The former science teacher reportedly shared some of the OnlyFans videos on her social media showing her and her husband engaging in acts on students' desks. Students were then able to discover the content and share it amongst themselves. Now it turns out there's actually a bunch of people defending this. It's usually the extremely angry feminists who don't want to be criticized at all. Basically, they blame it on the kids. They're like, how did the kids even have access to this 18 plus OnlyFans content? Well, for starters, she didn't post it only on her OnlyFans. She had a very public Twitter that kids can obviously access, and we're definitely in the social media age, so they're gonna check out what the hell the teacher's up to. And lo and behold, you go on her Twitter and you get to see the same type of content. Okay, so it turns out she's actually made a response to her original apology as well, which we'll take a look at in a sec. Okay, original apology.
Hello, my name is Samantha Peer, or some of you might know me by my alias, Chloe Carter. I was an employee at Thunderbolt for 5 years, and within this time, although my experience and evaluation showed that I had become a master science specialist and teacher, my salary did not increase. In this time period...
Okay, so you can see right off the bat, this is not much of an apology. It's more of a justification that I had to film myself fricking my husband on the student's desk immediately after the class. I just kind of had to do it. I was forced, my hand was forced. By the way, the average salary from her area, her district, or a teacher is $63K a year, okay? And if her and her husband are both teachers, they're both making $63K a year, which is $126K a year, which is more than enough to live a comfortable life, okay? I mean, okay, maybe not a comfortable life, to get by. You don't need to be doing OnlyFans on the side. And even if you want to do it, okay, nobody's stopping you. Who's stopping you from doing OnlyFans? First off, simple instruction, don't do it in public, in school, moron. Do it from your home and then post it on the internet, whatever. And if you get fired because of that, because you're a middle school teacher, you have to accept it. Some people don't want the people who lead these types of lives and have these types of professions to be teaching their kids. It's a perfectly fine worry. Nobody's actually taking away your rights here. These parents are literally out here just trying to like protect their kids, and somehow people spin it into like this feminist oppression narrative.
I had to continue picking up extra stipends in order to make ends meet, such as co-advisor to yearbook club, STEM club advisor. I was mentoring a group of 4 uncertified new teachers and was going to coach
Definitely reading off something here.
It got to a point where our family was not able to survive on our 2 teacher incomes. My children are the most important thing
Two
to me,
teacher
and I'm
incomes.
already
Interesting.
spending countless hours outside of my contract time on extra school activities, and I don't think it's fair that I have to sacrifice my own children's time because our professional salary did not pay enough.
Okay, listen, nobody's arguing that, okay, teachers should be paid more or something, okay? Sure, teachers should be paid more, but did you need to do it in public on the students' desks so that the students can even see it? Did you need to have a public Twitter account where people can access it so easily? Sure, you can argue that your OnlyFans is behind a paywall and therefore you're not exposing these kids to anything, but there's so many loopholes behind it, like your Twitter.
I created a content at the beginning of the summer in order to earn extra money on the side to help pay for our basic necessities.
Basic necessities. I just know that you're completely lying out of your ass and trying to justify what you did. It's so disgusting. Like you're taking a completely different argument that teachers need to be paid more and conflating it with your own disgusting issue of exposing yourself to these kids. Like just
salaries were no longer meeting. I chose an anonymous name as well as blocking the entire state of Arizona on my OnlyFans so that it wasn't accessible to anyone living in the state.
Yeah, wasn't accessible unless they walked in an hour after school. Like, Jesus Christ. And it's so interesting how these people act like they don't know how the internet works at all. Just because you blocked it in a state doesn't mean the kids don't have access to it, okay? There's literally millions of tools to get around it. Every single YouTuber and their mother promotes a VPN, which is probably the easiest way.
It was brought to my attention on October 24th that a community member had expressed concerns to the police and my school regarding video content. At this time, I was placed on paid administrative leave and probation pending investigation. The superintendent assured me that only her, the individual that was removed from my case, and my own family were aware of the situation and content, and told me that if I had resigned before the board meeting on Monday, October 31st,
this is some NPC reading off of, like, Jesus, have some emotion here.
On November 2nd, my husband was put on paid administrative leave because faculty reported pictures of myself that were being spread amongst other teachers. The following Friday, November 4th, my husband was terminated from the elementary school because he is classified as a long-term sub and he has an at-will contract. The superintendent stated he can be let go for no reason at all.
Listen, let's not act like it wasn't completely obvious why you were let go, okay? There's these two professions, and they're perfectly both okay to do, okay? It depends on your values or beliefs or whatever. But when you conflate the two, obviously, there's going to be problems, okay? That just is what it is. And it's just the way you went about the whole thing that is so unacceptable, like so brazenly, so brash, like completely on the student's desk, like right after class. Like, why would anyone think that's acceptable? I'm sure there's plenty of teachers with OnlyFans and, you know, they're getting away with it. You know, they're fine with it because they do it in their own time after work hours, at home, you know, very secretively.
Other school teachers were notified of the site and they began to spread it amongst themselves. Those teachers also were telling students my anonymous name and showing them my page. This was also sent to the parents.
Okay, so that's really messed up. Obviously, the other teachers shouldn't be showing the content to the kids, obviously.
They were sharing my anonymous name and content page with their children and allowing them to comment.
It's like she's hiding behind, like, oh, I was anonymous.
On my accounts.
They know how you look.
Community members are now going to public places, such as my gym, and threatening to cancel their membership because their children also go there.
Well, I don't know why you're acting so surprised over here that the parents want you to get away from their children. They consider you as a disgusting, you know, offender of some sort who should be on a list because you're indecently showing yourself to children, which is horrible.
Owner chose to terminate my membership, although I had been a member for 4 years. Because
you definitely showed your loyalty to the gym there. Shut the hell up, man.
Members were harassing me by taking my picture and videotaping me while I was trying to work out. The video that was created and advertised. I am already paying the consequence by losing my teaching certificate as well as losing the job that I loved most. I thoroughly enjoyed working.
Oh yeah, I'm paying the consequences. How about you rot in jail and then you pay your time? Like, you do your time. That's called paying the consequence. This is a slap on the wrist. This is nothing. In fact, you just got more exposure to your OnlyFans. This is like an infamous tactic so many OnlyFans girls do. They do something completely outrageous and then they get lots of media attention, and then there's always going to be simps and random people who are willing to give you more money. You're probably happy this whole situation went down, because I know how these people operate. It's disgusting.
With my coworkers, teaching my students science, and it brought joy to me every day. Looking back at the situation, I wholly regret creating the video in the classroom after school hours. But I felt trapped in my financial situation, and I felt this was the only way that my family would be able to survive.
This was the only way that you couldn't go home and film the video. You had to do it in class. The hell is this shit, man?
However, I do not believe that my name should be smeared throughout the community when I made one mistake that didn't affect anybody until other adults began allowing children access to my content.
Okay, shut the hell up. Oh my god, dude. Dude, I don't know if I can record this. I'm so mad.
That parents are continuing to allow their children to comment, harass me and my family, and threaten myself as well as others connected to my social media, as well as follow pages.
Incredible how she's turned into the victim. How has she literally done the dirty on a middle schooler's desk and somehow turned into the victim here? This is unreal to me. For all these women and other people defending her and feel oh so sorry for her, if it was a man himself filming NSFW content in a children's classroom, you'd be calling him a PP, sick, twisted, and all sorts of names in his book, and he'd probably be in jail. These double standards are so blatant these days. Not to sound rude, but I work with the low-income population, and your $63K a year plus benefit salary, which is the median middle school teacher salary in your school district, is $20K more than the average income in the US, which is $44K. Before you did all that extra crap, your husband was also working as a teacher, so he had to be making the same or nearly the same salary as you. That's approximately $126,000 a year. Living beyond your means and wanting to portray a certain image to the world isn't justification for claiming that you guys couldn't make ends meet with their salaries, acting like they're poor and broke and they were forced into like having to do OnlyFans. You guys made more a year than half of the US population. These days, people are too damn concerned with what others think of them and trying to make themselves look wealthy to the outside world. You guys making more than half of the US population's wage was definitely enough to live comfortably had you chosen to act your wage and live within your means. Exactly. Of all the side hustles to choose from, busting it open on camera on top of a student's desk was the chosen option. Nothing else. My hands were tied. In fact, I was like, they literally led me to the table. I had no other option. I love these stories, man. Nothing else at all you and your husband could think of to do and raise money. No better ideas when brainstorming. Good God, these people are the breed of people who are teaching children in this country now. I'd rather be childless for life than send my child to public school. Actually, dude, I'm never sending my kids to school, bro. No way am I letting them turn out exposed to this degeneracy. You can be arrested for exposing yourself in the vicinity of a school. Exactly. Like what? Let alone doing it inside of the school. Even after hours, you don't know that there are no children present. You're just assuming they went home. I used to lurk around. I used to lurk around all the time because I don't want to go home, all right? She needs to own up to the fact that she made a very poor choice and has to live with the consequences. Not try to blame every single other person but herself. Oh, boo-hoo, I wasn't getting paid enough. Get a different job. Move to a different district. Get a second job at Burger King. Or make it OnlyFans and film it at school. You absolute buffoon. All right, here's the response to the statement.
Hello, my name is Samantha Peer, or you might know me as my alias Chloe Carter. And I just wanted to give a little update after hearing
Hi guys, update. My OnlyFans business is booming. I'm actually a millionaire now.
I know this was a very big mistake. I've never defended myself saying that it was an okay thing to do. Looking back at it, I would never do that again. But I also am a person and I do make mistakes too. And
you're a person who wasn't punished for your mistake. Sure, you lost your job, but you're not in jail rotting though. I don't know why you're acting like a victim. You need to be thanking people. Begging on your knees, being like, thank you for not sending me to jail. If other people make the same mistake as you, they go to jail.
Although this was a very big mistake, this isn't who I am and it doesn't define who I will be in the future.
Literally every criminal in the world.
I've been a teacher for 7 years, and 5 of those 7 years were in Lake Havasu, teaching 8th grade science. And before this incident, if you had asked anybody, my coworkers, my former students, my current students, I'm really confident that they would tell you I was very passionate about my job and I was very good at it.
I don't care if you were passionate about your job. I'm sure Ted the serial killer was a lovely man the rest of the day, but he's still out there killing people, you know? I don't care. Like, what?
I have an undergraduate degree in biology and I have my master's in secondary education. I'm very highly qualified to teach what I do. And
well, you made a dumb decision and you got to pay for it.
Several years I've had very high evaluations. I was very good at teaching science, but I also care deeply about my students. And I
also cared about railing your husband on the table, though.
I cared how they performed not only in my classroom, but their other classes. I would constantly check in with their other teachers, especially
Hmm.
those that I know needed that extra care. I didn't, I loved watching them grow from the fall all the way to the spring. That age group is so amazing to me because they change so.
Dude, okay, you need to, you need to shut up. You need to shut up. I'm not even imagining a woman here. I'm imagining a man here. Take every single word she says as a man, okay? And considering what she did. You can't do something like that and then say, I'm very fond of that age group. Complete lack of self-awareness here. You don't realize how you're being viewed at all.
So much. They become young adults in that time. And you
Ah, dude.
I'm
Mm.
very upset that I don't get to watch this group of students. This group of students was very special to me. And
I can tell you were very intimate showing you were very comfortable showing every part of yourself to them, huh?
it was all I talked about when I would get home because it was just so amazing. Every single part.
If you really
My
valued your
coworkers,
job, you wouldn't have
my
started an
my
OnlyFans on the
principals,
side. Is what it
my
is.
students, the whole thing was so great. And if I could go back and take it back, I would because I should be
Tough
with my
luck.
fifth period right now. I should be teaching about magnets.
I just can't feel bad, man. As a mom, full-time worker of 2 IRL jobs, and content creator, you can balance those things without them crossing over. Children's environments are just not that place, man. That's the learning environment. Exactly. If I knew my child was in this woman's classroom, I'd be livid, especially if she filmed a scene for her OnlyFans on what could potentially be my child's desk. Those places should be sacred, not desecrated by some disgusting men and women. You're not remorseful. You knew what you were doing. Exactly. Out of all the side gigs, why take one that would ruin your life? Because it pays the most and it's the easiest money on the planet. Like, if you look on social media, it is the easiest money you could ever make in your life. But this is the flip side, and hey, you got the flip side, brother. Anyways, that's the story. Let me know what you thought about it. See ya.